For years now, I thought I've been great at building, but lately, I took a step back and realized what I've been doing is only mediocre at best, and I really need to do something about that. I've been telling you, myself, and even my grandma that I'm a good builder, and for all the time I've played, you'd think I'd be able to show something for it. So how can we fix this? Today, I brought together two of the best builders that I know that are very close friends of mine, so I can stop lying to my family and become the builder I know I can be. Welcome to 30 builds for 30 days at 30 minutes apiece. My name is Dukester, and you're watching Disney Channel. My name is Dukester, and let's get building. I brought you two here today to be judges of my 30 builds that took me 30 days plus a wedding and plus one day that I was too tired and just didn't feel like it. So
Duke, you got married?
Married to the content. The two best builders that I know to my world with me. And you two are gonna just basically judge me, see how bad I did, because some of these are gonna be pretty bad. And I just want you to know that I personally think I got better as this went on. That was the main goal. But if I didn't, count it out. Say it's bad.
We're gonna be calling them out today, Knightfox. We'll be saying, hey,
All right, yeah.
it did bad.
So are we doing this off of the Hypixel scale? Where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
super poop?
Hold on. Here, get out your super poops. If it's yellow, that means you guys were like, hey, this is okay, but you could do better, Duke. If it's green, it's like, oh, that's not a Duke build. That's B00. What?
I like how Knightfox has got brown. Like he's got the.
What is that? What does that mean?
I got the darkest brown, the other brown.
Wow.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Yes.
You got places to be, so let's get
Not
this
really.
going. Oh,
I'm good. I just have a bedtime to follow, but you know what? We'll be a baddie today.
welcome to day one. This was my first build. I went with blocks I've used before. I went with some stripped oak, normal oak, a spruce roof, and some stone and stone brick where it felt due. This was ideally a slightly medieval themed house, but nothing too crazy. Also, you'll see in a lot of these that I just don't do the back. I basically pulled a green on like half the builds, so
Oh.
most of these are to be viewed strictly from the front.
Well, I feel like this is a nice, kind of like a middle of the road, right? This is a nice base starter house. It feels like it should be number one, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to start it off and I'm going to just build, a traditional kind of starter house with maybe some elements of like tower in here. And I really like that. I mean, I do think there could be a little bit more detail, but for the base look, I think it's good. You got some good shapes going on here, and I like that.
In terms of like a starter house, I think it really, really works.
I feel like this is a nice yellow.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I give
I'll
it a-
also
I give it a
say
yellow.
yellow because I'm really happy you guys said that because, again, when I was going off the plan that it would take me 30 minutes, that was the idea here. I went for blocks I'd used before, shapes I'd used before, just like really simple stuff that will give me kind of like a litmus test to know where I'm at. Can I do better? Can I do worse? Yeah, but let's just do a 5 out of 10 to start and we'll go from there. Welcome to day 2. This was an all stone house with a little bit of moss and mossy cobblestone on the roof. And this idea of maybe like a little bit of a greenhouse area on the outside, but I wanted it to feel a little bit airy because the rest of the house is so heavy.
I like the shape a lot. I like the choice of blocks. I feel like you could use, there might be another block you could use here, like with the grayscale here, because you use stone, andesite, and then cobble.
Mhm.
Maybe like a deep
I'm-
slate mixed in
Yeah,
there.
either
Like,
deep slate or like actually I would even do like a mossy cobble, like gradually go up to the roof. That might be something.
Ooh,
I try.
yeah.
Ooh, so blend it
Maybe
a
more
little bit
green
better.
mixed in.
Blend it a little bit, but I like the idea and the shape that's going right here. It looks really good.
I like the idea of this though. I do
No,
like the
yeah,
idea.
it's really good. I like the shape of it.
It's really unique. And with
Yeah.
this one, I feel like achieves, like, I feel like you've achieved, like, let's just compare and contrast between these two just right off the whim. This
Yeah.
one captures more of the shape. This one captures more detail, right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
captures more blocks mixed in. And I like that. I also really, really, really like the shape of this chimney over here. I like how natural this feels.
Good.
It
All
doesn't have
right.
as much detail, but I feel like if you gather the concept, like, yeah, if you were to like complete this and really hone in and spend like, a few hours on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you spent on this, but if you really spent
Right.
like a few hours or maybe even half a day sometimes on a build, you can really capture a lot of detail. But I see the concept that you're going for. I really like this.
The 3 dimension of it looks really good. I like the stairs.
What do you think? Do you think this is a limer? Is this a
I-
limer or is this a
I
yellower?
feel like I like the shape. I think I'd give it a green.
See, I think Okay, see, I was debating lime, and then I'm withdrawing because
Okay.
I think
Ooh.
it captures just a different element of building. But
Okay.
if you were to combine these two, if you combine that shape with this detail, then it would be like a lime green or possibly even a green. It would be a solid build then. But I do like the concept of this one.
I would also give this a lime, actually, just purely for the base that when I built it, I was pretty satisfied with the roof and the kind of shape of the chimney and the extra bits because
Yeah.
the first one
Roofs
was
are tricky.
so rigid, right? Like it's very structured in the sense that all the angles and shapes and such are basic, right? It's triangles and rectangles and
Yeah.
squares. But this one, I kind of
Mhm.
moved tried a little bit with the organics. At the time when I built it, I was pretty satisfied with that. Fantasy tower, where there's 3 of the same type of tower, all kind of intertwined. Ideally, it doesn't look like it could stand due to normal structure, but you gotta
Yeah.
imagine there's a little bit something magical going on that breaks that up.
This
Do you wanna
is
go
really
first?
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but like I'm trying to process this. This is
Yeah.
really a cool shape. Like this is one of those builds like I just want to look at because it's not your traditional build. It's not your box just like the other two. It's not like a boxy shape. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I would argue it's even more organic than the other two, or even more organic than the roof of the last one. And I like the contrast between the prismarine and the calcite. That's nice. I really like this build.
That makes me feel actually pretty good. I did not expect that response so far.
I'd say I like the shape. I like the shape for sure. I do. I think what could be added that might add some more detail or at least texturing to this is maybe putting some diorite like in here and there just to kind of give some breakup here. I can't remember what the exact block would be in the same color range with this prismarine, but maybe kind of mixing it up with a couple of other blocks there that could be something could add just even more
True.
detail on top of it.
If it was actually just off the ground entirely, just floating.
Floating.
Oh, like a floating
Okay.
thing.
And
Okay.
maybe like
Okay.
a water column coming down from the center one right here, and
Oh,
that's how you get up into it. Could be pretty
okay,
cool.
that changes it for me. For
Because then
sure.
it's
If this is
then
on the
it
ground, then yeah. But if it's up in the
yeah,
sky, that makes sense.
it
Yeah.
would add more of that fantasy element, and I think that would look really, really cool.
Cool. I'm glad this got such positive reception. I figured
What
the
do you
fact
think,
that
Duke?
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
one of the
that's true.
things that kind of annoyed me with this is I really wanted to use calcite.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's no calcite stairs or slabs or walls.
Very annoying.
So
Yes.
I
Oh,
had
yes,
to
absolutely,
go to
yeah.
diorite, which all of a sudden you have like this contrast there, where it's really obvious where the stairs are. So I think it defeats the kind of curvature that you get with the prismarine. Like the prismarine's a much
Mm.
smoother kind of taper inward because it's all the same texture. From far away, it just looks like it's meant to shape that way. So I
Yeah.
wasn't a huge fan of that. Overall, I do think it just needs a little bit more detail, a little bit more texture. I think conceptually that keeps it from being red. It might have been red
Yeah.
if it was a boring choice of blocks.
I do think if you would have used like quartz as like the base block instead of the calcite, and then just use calcite as
yeah.
like the like an alternative block, like diorite and calcite kind of mixed in,
Mm.
and then maybe some wool or white concrete powder, that then would have really helped it with texturing wise. Because I do see
Oh,
like
yeah.
what Knightfox is saying with like the texturing and everything, and what you're saying too, Duke. For me, the big takeaway from this build is the shape, and I really like. I
Okay.
don't know, I really
Okay.
like
Yeah,
that.
the shape
I
works
Cool.
really well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I'm
I
like,
like
when I look at this, I'm getting inspired. Like that's
Wow.
what I'm
Real,
taking away from
really?
it. Oh yeah, like
Well,
I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, this is a really cool like shape and design.
I think also I like how you did the prismarine one, like just a little
Yes,
bit back versus
that's
just
nice.
directly the same level with it, just to give it even more depth. I think that
Yeah.
works really well.
I mean, this is a lime green. I
Yeah.
really like this one.
I got to vote a little bit lower on this. I was planning to give this an orange terracotta, but I went with yellow because you guys kind of convinced me the longer I've looked at it. But when I built it, I stepped back and I went, it feels like I had something and I just executed poorly. Maybe it's a good start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you work with it a little bit more, it definitely could be something.
Day 4, we have a custom
It
tree.
immediately says, "Uh-oh."
Take it away, Knightfox.
Okay, I'll go first. There's good ideas here. Maybe more fence and try to like shape it out a little bit more with a couple more like arms to it.
Yeah. There's
But
walls in there.
overall,
They're
like
tucked away though.
there's good ideas for sure here. Yeah, more fence and maybe also kind of transition from like the birch a little bit more. Maybe try to like gradient a little bit more as well.
Maybe some actual diorite blocks in it rather than just the slabs.
Yeah, maybe diorite like walls kind of more. I know there's some here, but like maybe transition it a little bit more. It's not seeable until I came to the back here, actually.
Well, you're not supposed to go to the back.
Yeah,
no back.
Well, but there's
Get away.
diorite wall back here, though.
Yeah, you can see those a lot better, I guess.
I see them up here. Maybe I would like bring them down further.
They're just not obvious enough, right?
Yeah, I put them a little bit down more.
It's not the worst custom tree I've ever seen in my life. I'll give you that.
Uh-oh.
No.
It needs a lot more poof, thoh.
Yeah,
sure,
well,
for the
and
leaves.
here's and I got a couple things here. When those new like pale garden blocks come in play, they're really gonna add some nice branches for birch trees and stuff like
the
that.
white wood. Oh yeah.
And then also bush. You want to have air between your leaves. So when you're building custom trees, you want to like build on like diagonals, and you want to like air them like in between. It's hard to explain.
It's a lot of trial and error.
It's a lot of just like finagling. So you want to make sure you have a lot of air. This is not bad though. This is, and I say that I really mean it, because like I feel like I've had worse custom trees. This is definitely, I would say, a good start. And again, if you play
especially with
a
a birch.
bit more, birch is a very difficult tree to make. I will say, because you're very limited with blocks, and white blocks, surprisingly. Yeah, I would have to give this an orange. I mean, it's teetering on a yellow for me, but it's like right off the cusp there. Because I think there's a lot more like you can add to this and really make nice. Good shape, more floof.
Okay. I'm with you there. The tree was difficult for me. I tried. I think I failed though. Just ultimately I wasn't like, when I built Little Oak Tree 1, I was like, this good. This tree not so much. Like it never felt like I did it. On to day 5. We have a temple. Tough was the main. I really wanted to use the tough blocks, so I made sure to incorporate them here. Decided to go for a little bit of a gradient into the andesite, calcite world, because I was, I don't know, really interested in white blocks during these 30 days for some reason. So you'll see a lot of them. Prismarine and copper roof.
Now, question: was the copper supposed to be just all waxed or no? Like deteriorated?
Well, okay. So here's the thing.
That's what I was.
Here's the thing, right?
Curious about, actually.
It was legitimately more of, I'm just gonna get this done. Let's just use a bunch of copper, and if they oxidize, they do. Like, so be it. But there was never a plan to have it one way or another.
Okay.
I will say it might help a little bit being oxidized. Gives it a little bit more interest, I think. But no, that wasn't intentional. That was not intentional.
Yeah, gradient. That's what I get from this. The gradient temple. It's a lot going on here, is what I feel like. There's no resting spot for me. I feel like with the pillars being so gradient on the outside, I feel like the inside should be kind of a blank canvas, and make the pillars kind of stand out. Give them a little bit more credit. So, and it'd be maybe a little bit more uniform on the inside. I like the roof. I actually really like this side of the roof because it's like more speckled, and I feel like the green is really nice with the prismarine. Looks really, really good. Other than that, though, I like it. I like the shape. I think you're going more for like a Greek kind of style here.
Right.
Enough. Maybe like Aether.
Yeah. Oh, me and Knightfox know all about
I immediately thought about it.
That's great.
Yeah, like this is. I mean, it's really, really a good looking build. And I like it. How long did this take you, by the way? Are you saying that towards the end? Up
until this point, I had probably spent roughly 30 minutes on each. This one was probably more like 45 minutes, and that is because a lot of it was world edit. I copied and pasted the columns all the way through, and then I just made slight adjustments on most of them. If you come over to this side, you'll see that this whole right side, they're identical. They're literally the same all the way down. Because I was like, hey, they're only going to look at the front, so I need to make sure the front look good. If the sides don't, that's okay. Since it's so boxy, a lot of it, the world edit just let me go. Like if I didn't, it'd probably take me like 3 hours, but world edit got it less than 1.
I would actually suggest that maybe tone down like the darker blocks to like lower level, and then maybe focus more on it being like white pillars. I'd also add probably, I see that now it's wall. I realized, I thought for a minute, like looking back at it, it was blocks.
Nope. They're
that
walls.
that changes everything. My note was gonna be like use concrete.
Yeah, we don't have
Never
quartz
mind.
walls,
Never,
unfortunately.
never mind. Never mind. I can see now. I would say yes. Maybe do some concrete up here to like mix it up as well to have it actually like a third block
Yeah.
for the top here as well. No, I like it a lot, and I think it works.
This was probably the first one that I finished, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is actually like the goal. I feel there were some good forms, there were some good shapes, and obviously it's very symmetrical and kind of boring in that regard. Being able to use the gradients, being able to finally see tough blocks used well, oh, it made me happy. Like I was satisfied with probably a good 85% of this build, which far exceeded any of them previously.
Yeah, I feel like for 45 minutes as well, this is a decent
Crazy,
build.
yeah.
You know, just using world edit as well. Like that's
Mhm.
really nice. I'm gonna give it a lime just because I like it. And I think there's
I
just
do
some
too.
yeah, we all in agreement there.
Up to this point, it was my favorite build, so we'll see how long that lasts. Day 6, we went with a couple floating islands here, but rather than having water, I went with using glass to kind of simulate water because I wanted purple. I wanted the contrast to make this kind of feel like mystical, just basically otherworldly, right? That was the whole idea, that this wasn't something that you just find stumbling across the overworld, something a little bit more mysterious.
This is really, really cool.
I like it because it's very unique, and I don't think I've actually seen a lot of this done before outside the box in terms of like what you'd use for building stuff, especially if you're using floating islands. Because most of the time, everybody uses regular dirt and stuff. And you also used like this pink purple like ooze.
Yeah, it is an ooze, right? It's not quite a water, but
Yeah,
you know
it
it's
feels
it's
very
supposed to be
much like,
liquid.
oh, I don't want to be in this. Like I don't want
Yeah.
to like.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is not safe. I could definitely see this as like future generation for the Nether, actually.
Right. There's no
They did
water in
something
the
like
Nether,
that.
but they have some
Right.
purple sludge.
But they could make purple water. That'd actually be really kind of crazy.
That'd be cool for like the biome, the warped biome.
Yeah, the warps.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm a sucker for the magical builds. I honestly, because like I think because they're something just so unique and something so different, it just makes them stand out instantly. I just really like this one. I do, because I like the purple ooze coming down off of the islands and everything. I like the nylium. Is that what it's called? I don't. Is that
I think it is
or
nylium.
Nylium?
Yeah,
Come
or nylium. Yeah.
Ask Cub fan, he knows.
But yeah, it's just something, and it's interesting to look at. It's just like one of those builds that'll just catch your eye, and I could see this being like a fountain, if you know, in the Nether or something,
Sure,
like
yeah.
for your like a
Yeah.
Nether hub or whatever. Oh man, I love it. I
The
love
use of
this.
copper is really good too.
I don't think I have anything to like critique on this, to be honest. Like I don't
Wow.
like I don't have any like negatives towards this. I think it just looks fantastic.
Fun fact about this build, it took longer than the temple. It took
Really?
I think like an hour 15 actually, because
Yeah.
I kept going back and forth with how the water would flow off island to island and then getting the islands positioned kind of correctly. I couldn't, like, I didn't want it to be so static where they just consistently fell to the same location every time. I want it to vary a little bit, and I wanted them to almost feel connected, but also in a way that felt very natural.
Mhm.
It was a lot of fidgeting. Yeah, overall,
a
I
lot
think
of
it was,
looking in the
it was fun.
menu.
It was fun. I've gone back and forth about how much I like this one. I feel like if I just happen to walk by and look at it, I'm like, ugh, why is it green? But then I look at it more and I'm like, oh, wait, that works.
Now that you put it into words, Duke, when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't know if I liked it, but then as I started to look into the details of it, started to grow on me, and like I really started to like it even more and more. And I think like the copper blocks specifically, like I don't know if you like came up with that like right away, or if you were just sitting in the inventory like looking through like the color palettes and stuff.
I'll let you decide that
I
one.
think it works well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this one for me is one of those builds that's like very biome dependent or very location dependent. I
Yeah.
think it looked really nice in the Nether. I think it looked really funky in the overworld.
That's
right here,
true.
I mean, it looks fine here, but I think blended in like within a spawn area, it might stand out. But again, that could also be a good thing as well.
Right.
So,
It depends on what you're trying to do.
yeah. I'm gonna give this is gonna be my first green. I'm gonna be honest. This is my
Whoa,
first
wow.
dark green. I really like the concept of this build, and I really like the whole overall shape and the idea. It's really, really cool.
What's Knightfox got? Ooh, another green.
Oh.
Oh.
I feel like Duke's
Nope.
going lime.
I am.
I
am.
knew it. I knew it.
I think it's more so the fact that it's not very adaptable. The adaptability of this build is slightly less so than, say, the stone house I had earlier, where you could kind of see that in multiple different places in the overworld where you typically build something. This felt, like you mentioned, that it almost has to be in a certain location or else it's going to seem out of place. So for that fact, it got a little dinked off. Overall, I'm happy with how the water, the ooze flowing off. I can't give it anything lower than lime. Here is day 7. So this was my first use of warped and jungle.
Ooh.
I had never used these 2 blocks together before, and I figured, why not test it out? And this is just kind of the front of what would be more so a row house.
Duke, I don't like this.
The 3 doors?
Oh, no.
Oh,
it's creeping me out, brother.
Oh.
Yes.
Fix.
Oh, now you pointed it out.
Much better.
pointed it
Okay,
out.
restart.
Okay. That's we're good. We're good.
This is day 7, everybody. Oh
I'm getting
man,
Red Dead 2 vibes, actually, like saloon stuff.
yeah, I'm getting Western.
Really?
Yeah.
Old
Why
West.
am I getting Western?
That's
I don't know why.
When I was over here looking at this bill, I was peeking over at this one. I'm like, off the corner of my eye, it's screaming Western to me. I think it's because of the porch.
It's a very heavy porch. I mean, it's 3
It could
blocks
also be
deep
the
just
door.
about, you know?
What's that movie called? Monster House vibes?
Monster House.
Oh,
This is the
yes,
monster.
actually,
If you look at it, like it has the 2 eyes up top on the roof.
If you copied this portion and put it right here, it would
Yeah, I'm surprised that I remembered that that movie, but yeah, that's what it's giving me. And like the 2 little ears off the side, like the 2 little flicky outy bits.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I like the jungle mixed with the crimson. And I think there's an accent going on there that I haven't
It's
even
a
thought
good
of.
accent. Yeah, I like that accent.
They work well
lot.
together.
Wow. This is.
With the purple and everything. Yeah.
I cannot believe.
Duke's like, this is going better than I thought.
Like,
Yeah.
if Duke, if you were to like say this, like, or like say this was the color palette, like these blocks, like Junglewood mixed with this purple, like I would be like, no way. And then now that I've
And then it
seen
works.
this,
Yeah. Okay.
like, okay, it actually works really well.
I think the purple, what is this? Is this magenta or purple? Yeah, purple. I think it looks nice with the, it complements the, what was that called? Crimson? Yeah.
Yeah, Crimson.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember all these block names.
Yeah,
It's a lot
it
of
is
blocks to
Crimson.
remember.
This is a lot better feedback than I was anticipating. I kind of got the idea while I was doing it that I could see Crimson and Jungle working together really well. However, this was my least favorite build up to this point. I thought it sucked. I really was almost hoping we'd kind of skip over this one because I don't know what it is, whether it just didn't meet the mark for what I was going for, or if there are just things I wish I could change or whatever it is, but I kind of gave up at time. Like I was not satisfied when I finished, and I'm still not. So I really appreciate the kind words. It's interesting to see how different our opinions are on something like this.
Yeah. I like the I like the gradient, not the gradient, but like the complements between jungle and the crimson. Does it work? Like, does it work as a like this full on build? Yeah, I would say so. But like, I don't know if it's something I would like build for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it would be like a house that I would like use or like use this block palette, to be honest. But it's nice to know that it does work. This is still like probably an orange for me. It has a nice concept. I like the block palette you're kind of using, but I don't think it's comparable to like some of the yellows that I've given. Oop, that's my orange. I feel so bad giving it orange. Why do I?
No, that's fine. Hopefully, it's not another one. But yeah, I'm also giving it orange. Knightfox was a little nicer. He went yellow there.
Halloween.
I like the idea. I really do. I think just that you were able to take 2 blocks that people wouldn't think would work well together and make it, I don't know, give such a cool contrast.
Oh, it
That's
is
why
nice.
I think I'd give it a yellow.
Day 8.
What the heck is this?
We have a couple of blocks here. This is actually one of the only builds I actually did an interior on, because the whole goal here is that it is solid from the front. All you see is 4 blocks. But if you go inside, you'll see that each little space has its own use. Oh yeah, you can actually enter into this room from that.
You can't.
I'm terrible at this.
Yeah. This
Well,
is
because Duke was
possible.
blocking my way. That's
sorry,
why
sorry.
I'll make an excuse.
That's valid. That's valid.
Hey, got it. There we go.
Second try. Hey, there's a bed up here.
Oh no! He just-
I'm not doing that again.
So yes, the 4 stacked blocks from the front.
Skunk, you want to go first?
Okay. I mean, I like it. I do. Like, I think we're going for concept here, right? We're going for like not so much design. I don't know, maybe, but like I feel like you could turn these into like shipping containers. You know?
Ooh, okay.
And then boom, you got a container house. That's what everybody's doing nowadays. All the hippies and everybody. They're doing container houses. But yeah, this looks really nice. I like the idea of getting up into the house in weird ways. I don't think I've seen that done before. You don't like it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Knightfox hates it.
He's like red. I
So
hate this.
so
You can put
okay,
red, it's
Hear
fine.
me out.
yeah.
yeah. I don't like it.
Oh, he actually did.
Oh
I
my.
actually don't like it because I'm just not like I understand what you're saying by shipping crates, but I feel like that could be like more detailed in a way. I do feel like when I looked at this, I'm not gonna lie, the first thought I thought of was like modern art, and I was like, that was like a meme, as in like bad modern art.
Oh.
So, like
You're like, how is this modern art?
I will say the one cool thing I guess is the parkour to get up to the top.
Parkour pro to use this house, actually.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like what from a glance, I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be.
I thought Tetris when I saw it. I was like,
That's
when I first saw
valid.
it, I'm
That's
like,
valid.
oh,
I
this
thought
looks like
modern art.
Tetris
So,
block. Yeah,
and I guess I clearly hate modern art.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I mean, I think I have to agree with Knightfox here. I mean, I think as it stands, it's a red
Yeah.
build. Concept's good, but I don't think that's enough to like overturn it into like the
Yeah.
yellows and stuff.
Okay.
But if you were to work on this more and make it look like shipping containers or maybe
Could
even
definitely
Lego
be
blocks,
something. Yeah.
could be cool, you know. But it's not bad. Like I think it's cool. Like it's a definitely.
It's
cool,
not bad, but he
build.
gave it a red.
It's not bad, but you know, hey,
Dude, we're your friends. We
should I
got
give it an orange then? Is that better? Should
Is
I
that
give it an
what
orange?
you
No,
No. I think there needs to be some that are just purely hated on, right? Like we have to establish the worst, right? So when
Yeah.
I built this, it was again all concept. The idea that there were these basically bricks that were just kind of stacked upon each other. Maybe that's why Skunk kind of liked it for a little while because it's bricks.
Yeah.
But they're all just kind of like layered on each other. And this was one of those things where it was less so what I think looks good in Minecraft and more so taking from my 5 years of design school in college. This is something my architecture professors would love from a conceptual standpoint. That it looks yeah, it looks like nothing, but then you get up to it and you realize, oh, it has function, it has use. You just have to look deeper into it, which is maybe something I didn't execute on terribly well, but the idea was there.
That makes me want to give it more of like an orange now, just because of you saying that.
No.
No.
Hold on.
No. Because it gives it purpose. Then. Oh no, he's pulling out.
Bam.
Never mind.
Also giving it red. So forget
hated architectural school. Gotcha.
How did you know? So forget everything I just said. I wanted to go fully into like what I thought they would like and build this, and then I came back and looked at it and I was like, this sucks. Like I hate this. Like this is terrible. And I think a lot of it is like you mentioned. Oh, if this is shipping crates, it needs to look like it. If it's Legos, it needs to look like it. If it's something else altogether, it needs to look like it. But it doesn't do any of those well. And for that, it gives our first triple red of the day.
Good job, little guy. Good build over there. Not you, Duke.
All right, this is number 9 here. If anybody watches my Cobblemon series, you'll know it's pretty similar to the build I just built because this was actually the build that inspired that. I knew I wanted to build a fishing shack, didn't know how to do it, realized I was building for 30 days, might as well just build it here. So this isn't exactly how it turned out in that Let's Play, but for this, I was just going to build one anyways. And this was basically take 1 at that. He's already fishing. Look at him go.
Start fishing.
Will he catch anything?
The suspense. Oh, here we go.
Oh! A
And
puffer.
a pufferfish. Hey.
So I feel like that actually says a lot about this build. Personally.
Immediately sets down his shot.
Holy smokes.
I feel the same way with the build that actually got built in Cobblemon. I'm disappointed with myself. I thought I could do more. I feel like it's lacking something. It gets an orange from me.
Needs a chimney. You have a chimney over there? Like a brick chimney.
I guess there's
chimney,
not.
like, right
I guess there's
here.
not.
Yeah, that's where I was exactly where I was thinking. Actually,
Great
that's
minds
weird.
think alike.
That's right. No,
I swear we're the same person.
Oh, that's it. That's okay. It's a shame that you gave it an orange though, because I like this. I maybe I'm a sucker for like little fishing harbor builds. I like this. This is nice. This is I don't know. I like the shape of it.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
it could probably use a chimney.
It's
It could
quaint.
probably use. Yeah, it's a cute little guy. Yellow. Yellow.
I do see what you're saying. I do think maybe you could add some contrast.
Oh, I see the
I mean,
texturing coming in. Interesting.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what else you could like do. Could you do like something like this? Could you add like a little shadow in? I don't know. Like I don't know what goes with what's this called? Jungle plank. Jeez, I'm just forgetting blocks today. I apologize. What the heck's going on? I mean, you could do like a little like I don't know, jungle.
Oh, that could work too.
Little
Yeah.
mud, little muddy mud. I don't know.
Little
Something
muddy
that.
mud?
I don't know. It could be
Mix it
something
up,
cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it, dude. I don't know.
Wow.
I think you gotta upgrade your
The
little
shape's cool. The
color
shape-
there.
I mean, on one hand, the simplistic nature of it kind of works because it's a fishing shack. It
Mhm.
doesn't need to be anything too special.
That's
But
true.
I didn't put a chimney, so it can't get yellow in my
Right.
book.
Oh yeah, no chimney, no yellow. Okay, I retract.
All right, Jimny. You know what? No,
Yeah.
Oh,
red. Jeez, holy.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
he kept it yellow. Okay, all right. This is number 10. So this is like some dystopia kind of life, right? Just a giant grid, and the blocks, the spaces that people live in are, in a sense, being held through these giant structures that are just overbearing. You walk through it and you look up and all you see is structure above you. That was the idea, at least. Tell me how I did.
Yeah, you're not convincing me, Duke. I'll be honest.
I didn't really know what it was until you explained it. I was like, not sure what I'm looking at actually.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is a nice house, Duke.
It's like a house/prison, basically.
It's really neat to look at. Yeah, I don't know if it's doing it for me. I'll be honest.
It's very symmetrical, except for these giant parts. Oh, you didn't.
Oh, did you find the
do, like,
door?
You didn't do logs all the way over the top at all. Oh, okay. So it's just straight up logs all the way up. Okay.
This build may have took me
wait.
10 minutes in World Edit.
I
Wait.
was gonna say.
Come on in the inside. Oh, there's like a grid on the inside. Look at this.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That was totally intentional, wasn't it, Duke?
I don't know. Let's just move on.
It's like, just give it red and move on, guys. Come on.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it orange. You can give it red if you want. You can give it red. It's fine.
Knightfox, how dare you? Just
Okay, I was gonna say, there's no way it's as bad as
Skunk,
that.
Skunk, you had
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
you had red in your hand, and then you switched to orange.
Well, hey. It's like, you know how you bait the people in Hypixel, you show the different
Oh,
colors.
yeah.
You're like, ooh, what you gonna give?
Day 11,
Ooh.
a fish. Check it out. We have a fish. Oh, fishy gets
what?
a lime immediately from
Green.
Knightfox.
Wait,
I
is
like-
that,
Oh, is that
a
green?
lime?
Oh,
That's
it is green. He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves the fish.
I love it. It's so cute. It's adorable. When it comes to like 3D pixel art, I love that. I love that stuff.
You what?
You what, Devin?
I almost said I love that shit.
Yeah, it's cute. I like it. That's it. That's all I got. I mean, it's cute. I'll give it lime. Yeah, lime. Yeah, lime.
Okay, if Skunk's going lime, I'm gonna go green here because
Wait, what?
Slide.
I didn't want it to be the first all green, but it's kind of cute. I'm a sucker for it
is-
as well.
it is cute.
It was a good pickup after the prison that was actually the last like 3 or 4 builds before this. I was really turned off about this whole episode thing, right? Like I was like,
Oh.
ooh, this video is kind of going downhill. My build skills are somehow getting worse. And then I built the fish. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're back.
I will say that Miney would give it an aw, probably.
Miney would give it
I'm
an
sure
aw.
I-
This is Miney's over
That's
here.
what she's. Yeah, literally, she'd give it a green.
Oh, got double green. Oh, got more green. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that's Miney's green over there.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah. Day 12, we hit a more of a Victorian manor. Lots of brick. Oh, Ooh.
Oh man. Oh
Yeah,
man.
you're already getting a green from me. I already like this a lot. I love Victorian builds. I love the windows as well. Like I love this like center trapdoor.
Yeah. Good. All right. I'm glad you like that.
That's one of my favorite things. Oh, this looks so good. I love this.
I think I won't go green. I'll go lime. The only reason being the roof. That there might need to be like some texturing here.
Okay. I'm actually with you on that.
How long did this take you to build this?
I want to say it took me a little bit more than 30 minutes because it's pretty simple. It's pretty square, and a lot of it was just repetitive, just placing the roof blocks and stuff like that.
Like, if you had more time to like work on this, I could see this turning into a full-fledged build. Like
For
with
that-
the grid thing, I'm like, where's that going? Like, I don't know where that's going.
Yeah.
But this, I'm like, oh yeah, I could live in this. I get the idea here, and I think if you had like chimneys and stuff coming up, if you were given more time, like 4 hours or something to work on this in creative, I think it would be a fantastic build.
Wow. Pretty high praise for this one.
I switched,
like it.
I switched back to green because like that is a good point. I'd say like if you had a little bit more time for the roof and stuff.
Wow, make me feel so good. See, I would give it a green as well because I do agree that the time spent on it should suggest that this is pretty good for what I did.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing is I'm comparing this directly to my Resolute Spawn House.
That's what
I
I
was
was
gonna
about
say,
to ask.
yep.
Is this the same shape as the
It's similar,
looks
but it's not
exactly
the
the same
same.
shape.
The Resolute Spawn House is one of my favorite builds I've just ever done. I love that
Oh,
house.
it's so good.
And as a result, I tried to capture that same feeling here. And I feel like I just barely didn't miss the mark. Like really close. And maybe with enough time I would have. But I felt like I couldn't capture that feeling. It just wasn't enough. Lime green for me. Next up, we have day 14, which is a watchtower made of tuff sitting atop a little bit of a mountain. Just imagine this is like on a peak, right? So you see a little bit of the
Yeah.
stone down below. But
Is it on a peak of my survival world?
yeah, this is actually, I took it from your world. I snuck in there when you weren't on.
The Light Matica.
I would say I like a lot of the ideas. What is this? Polished tough?
Polished
Is that what
tuff.
This is this
Yep.
block?
It's
Yeah,
all
polished
tough. The whole thing's it's
I
a
feel
tough
like-
tower.
I feel
Very
like there
tough.
might be too much of the polished tough. I'd probably put a little less of it, and maybe focus more on the tough and the tough brick. I maybe would extend out by one block to just kind of give it like a little bit of like a cool 3D detail.
A little
So,
bit
like,
of a better shape at the top, so it's not just
better
the same
shape, yeah,
cylinder the whole way
yeah.
up.
Yeah, so it's not just straight. But I really do like the little windows. Those are cool. I'd say I give it a yellow.
Oh, we're rating already?
He's rating.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I just
no,
swayed
no,
Skunk's
no.
opinion. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Screw that guy. No. Okay, this is gonna sound really bad, but I'm actually like the opposite of Knightfox.
Oh, really? Huh.
If you just flip his opinion of everything,
Whoa.
swap it.
Really?
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna start.
I want to hear it. Let's hear what you say.
Okay.
Let's hear-
I mean, I'm actually interested. Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, I actually really like the shape, and I like the blocks that you used in this. Like, I like the polish because it gives it more of like a different kind of structural feel.
Okay.
I also like the shape of it because you see a lot of towers in real life where they're really boring and really bland like this. So I can see the style that you're going for. It's more like articulating that real medieval style, right? Where
Right.
it's not like those fancy fantasy. You're going more realistic, I feel like. And I actually feel like toned down on the windows a little bit. I feel like there's a lot
There's too
of
many.
windows going on here. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like maybe a banner or something could be pretty cool. Maybe like a
Okay.
and maybe more of like maybe some, I don't know, maybe some more like kind of ruined pieces on the ground could look cool next to it and add to it a little bit more. But other than that, I like this build a lot. Like I think it looks really, really nice. Texturing, shape, and maybe just turn down on the windows. I think you got it going there.
Wow. That's actually more in line with my view as well, because, and you'll see this later on when we get to more medieval type builds. I wanted to go with a really simple structure because I was kind of headed towards realism with this one. It was, all right, it's going to be a cylinder because naturally if you have stone cantilevered out over nothing, it's more likely to fall. Where's it strongest? On top of itself. So I did that. Obviously I have a little bit of stuff kind of teetering out for more visual interest. Obviously there's this one part here where there legitimately is tough that's extended out, but it's structural, you know? And then otherwise, the light airy bits are all wood. So in a sense, okay, I can see how running floor joists out from the side of a structure would allow it to hold. Up until this point, it's been on the top of my list as well. So I'm actually, I think I'm going to give it green. I'm
green,
going
yeah.
to give it a full green because I've fallen in love with the tough blocks so far. I get your idea, Skunk, about maybe too many windows, and Knightfox, I get your idea about, okay, maybe it needs a little bit more shape or something. I feel like one thing I've always done with medieval builds in Minecraft is I try too much. I make it too advanced of a shape, and I get done, I'm like, this sucks. Like, totally missed its mark. So I went with a simple version, and I feel like I executed pretty well, and I'm willing to give it a green.
It's really nice. Can we just mention the terrain as well? You did a great job with that. The gray into, like, this is a gradient, right? This is going from the grayer into the green, which green blends really nicely with tough. I love it. I really do like this build. So it's teetering on that green slot for me.
I'm actually very happy on this that we all had different opinions, because I feel like up until this point, we've all been pretty similar in what we've guessed on. This was the first one that all three of us had something different. And I think for that, I'm satisfied. This is a modern house. Think rich, like sitting up in Hollywood Hills kind of vibe, just multi-million-dollar home, like Corrales inspired.
Yes.
You know the vibe.
Sorry, Adriel.
He's fishing again.
Is this Nate's upgraded house?
Yeah. How did you know? I was like, hey, Nate, can I get your plans for your house? He's like, oh, yeah, here you go. And I'm like, yep, fix that. Fix that.
No, I get it. Oh,
you
right.
Don't. Yeah.
Don't go in the back.
There quite literally is not a back to this. It is just the
Talk
front.
about structure.
Yeah, you didn't even get a side. You just get the front.
Yeah, this piece looks like it's going to fall into the pool just about any minute now.
Yeah, the structural engineers did a lot of work to make sure this was possible, believe me.
I like the idea to an extent. I don't like the glass behind it. I'd say like the spruce, like I feel like it's too much going on. Like
it's too busy.
It's way too busy. It would make more sense that you don't have the glass behind it, but the slabs can stay. That would work pretty well.
Very trippy as well.
Oh, so I should add more then?
No.
But yeah, I think I'll give it a yellow.
Oh no, he's holding red.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Sorry. This is more of how I'm feeling. So sorry,
Okay.
I did not mean that. I think the red was just. I was looking at the bill. I'm like, oh, there's red. That's a lame excuse. No, as soon as I saw this, dude, I have to admit, I just saw like Star Wars warp speed, like when you get like this particle effect.
Yeah. You're in the Millennium Falcon and it starts going fast. Yeah,
which is not a bad thing. I mean, reminding me of Star Wars lightsabers, cool. That's awesome. I can see what you're going for here, but I don't know. I can't say that I am a fan of the whole. The glass concept and just the build in general, just from the surface, needs a lot of work. And I don't think that's mainly on your part. I think that's also just because Minecraft doesn't have enough. Like if we had
blocks to do
concrete stairs and slabs and walls, Bojang, the modern style would like skyrocket. Like everybody would be building modern. I just don't know if it worked. This build works for me, so I'm gonna give it an orange because I can see the shapes. And again, I think if you had a little more time to work with it, all that good stuff, maybe some gardens around. Some other little details. I think it could look really cool as a modern house, but it's just not quite there for me.
I'm actually gonna give it a lime because I, for some reason, have grown really attached to this box right here. I don't know what it is about that one in particular. The other two, like if I close my eye and only look at the back two, I'm like, those don't really work. But something about having this one cantilevered out over a pool, it kind of invites you inward. I think the proportions of it are pretty solid. Compare it to the last time I did a modern boxy house, which we won't talk about. This I think was a large improvement, and this is more so of a pat on my own back here this time, where I was like, hey, this turned out okay. So I get your opinions, and they're valid, but I think it turned out okay in my mind.
I'm also not gonna lie. Now that I look at it, it looks like Duke Flats fell down.
Oh my god.
like, and it's in a pile, and it hasn't been built yet.
The
Like,
audience
construction
will
people
Nobody's-
will not understand.
Nobody's gonna have a
Yeah, I know,
single
it's-
idea. Back to the medieval style, kind of remnant of the first house I did. This was my second go at it. A little bit more detail, a little bit harder of a shape. Just some things I slightly tried to do better. Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, no, this I like. And you probably didn't mean for this, but I really, really, really like this window right here. Like, I don't know if you're
Actually,
gonna.
yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna add an interior to this, but for some reason, I really like that gray behind the window. I think that looks so cool. And then also, I just feel like it just did more than the first house, like a lot more than the first house, and it's given me some good stuff. Now,
It feels like it expanded upon the first house for sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's like this. If this was the first house, the first house would have got green for me. But this, I love it. I love it. Chimney and all, I love it. No back,
yeah.
but that's okay. We're hanging in there.
Oh yeah, this one literally does not have a back at all. The last
This is-
we're
this is-
2 in a row of no back. Yeah.
yeah, this is front judge only.
The chimney I love. I love the chimney. I like the basalt mixed with it. It's cool.
Yeah, it's nice, dude. It looks great. I think
Wow.
I think the roof could use a little bit more details, but you know what? Hey, I'll let that slide because like with the like other textures in there. But I
Right.
do like the tiles on them their own too. So I can't really say that.
The little shingles, it's fun.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it looks good. Like I like this one. This is
Actually,
nice.
yeah, actually slate roof, they do exist, and this is deep slate roof,
Yes.
so this also
Oh,
exists.
there you
know,
go.
it kind of works.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm happy you guys commented on the 3-block
You
wide
better-
window. I
better
don't
vote
typically make windows this large, but it just felt right to do it here. I don't know why. Let's see. I have Actually, I have 3 choices: 1 block, 2 block, or 3. This would be the centerpiece of the house. The 3-block window. Let's do it. And I did it, and I'm happy. And let's see, what do we got? What do we got coming up?
He's comparing. He's like,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I want to save my green for him.
Nice.
It's our first
Ooh.
triple green here.
There you
Right.
go.
I
think
just
it
feel like we
deserves
have to. At some point I had to commit to the green.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
Cause honestly, I may love that tower more or the temple more. Maybe I
Mhm.
just love tough block more, but something about this was like, all right, this is simple yet does everything it needs to, and it does it well. And I was like, yeah,
Mm.
good, works for me.
I feel like this facade that you've kind of created here of this like this kind of front area.
Yep.
It does everything perfectly. Like where it adds it, like you have the details where it needs to have details, and then like I was saying with the temple, you have these plain like stone blocks behind. It lets those details stand out. It's nice. It has nice balance. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Balance.
It's got good
Woo!
balance.